All right. Thanks for stopping by. What's your name?
Brian?
Hey, Brian. And what's the name of your podcast?
Sequels That Aren't Equal.
Okay, that's very cool. What's it about?
So we talk about beloved major motion pictures that have a follow-up movie that is terrible.
Okay, give me your top 3 list there.
Okay, so our most recent episode, did you know Rosemary's Baby had a made-for-TV sequel?
I did not.
It's called Look What Happened to Rosemary's Baby, and it does, in fact, show you what happened to Rosemary's Baby.
Okay, I thought Rosemary's Baby was the devil. Sorry for the spoiler alert here, right?
The devil's the father. So the devil and Rosemary had a baby,
Okay.
and he grows up to be a lounge singer in a casino.
What?
I am
Is
not
this for
lying.
real?
Look what happened to Rosemary's Baby. So if you watch or listen, I say watch because we're also on YouTube, so we're on YouTube and all major podcast platforms. But yeah, we talk about Look What Happened to Rosemary's Baby. Another episode that a lot of people kind of liked was American Psycho had a sequel.
Okay.
Yes, so we really like movies that should never have gotten a sequel, and how they try to squeeze that toothpaste out of that tube.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many iconic movies that they're just the original is just so good that to try to follow it up with a sequel often isn't going to hit the mark as good as the first one, right?
Occasionally it does, like Terminator 2, even better than the first. Aliens is better than Alien, but I mean, for every one of those, you've got 100 Jaws sequels or something that never should have been made.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so you're only 3 weeks in, I think, is what you mentioned, right?
Yes.
So what's your game plan for podcast growth? What are your ideas around how you're going to go about growing your podcast?
That's a great question. That's why I'm here at PodFest, because I don't know. I'm very new to this. I mean, I've listened to podcasts for years. This is my first attempt doing it. And at the same time, we launched as a YouTube podcast as well as a traditional audio podcast. So I'm trying to learn both spaces at the same time. But I definitely want to network with other podcasters, try to guest on their shows, have them guest on mine. Social media, I'm a complete neophyte to that, believe it or not.
As am I.
So yeah, I didn't even get on Facebook till 2017. So yeah, a lot of.
By the way, did you know Facebook apparently is a dinosaur? My older kids who are 23 and 21, it's all about Snapchat, TikTok. what do I do on those platforms,
Oh my God, yeah, I've got 2 teenagers. It's all TikTok, and TikTok is alien to me, very, very alien. So I'm going to stick to YouTube because that's also a social media platform, and that one I get. We do some Facebook, of course, because our audience, even though we've just started, I can see that every download has been a man aged 35 to 50, which is me. So I'm like, okay, apparently I'm podcasting to me. So, people like me are on Facebook.
Awesome. And, what do you envision, when you look at success or, where you want to go with this? Maybe just think a year from now. What would that look like for you? What would that measure of success or that feeling of you made it look like?
Oh, wow. Great question. Yeah, I mean, I definitely hope to have an audience that's engaging with me, I love podcasts. For example, I love Blank Check Podcast, which is also about movies. And they have a very active audience base that communicates on Reddit and engages with the hosts, and they engage back. So I would love it because I'm a filmmaker. I love movies. I love talking about movies. I love talking about bad movies. So I would love it if I had an active audience that I could talk with and engage with and have a conversation so it's not just me shouting into the wind.
Yeah, love it. Awesome. Finally, what do you think about this assertion that I have here that you have to be rich to make it in podcasting? You believe that?
I don't think you have to be rich to make it in podcasting. If you have a cell phone, you can podcast. As far as actually being successful in podcasting, no, I don't think so, because really, I think it's just about finding the audience, right? If you can find someone who thinks like you do, if you can find someone who has the same interests as you do, I mean, you might not get rich podcasting. I think very few people do, but I think you can find that audience of like-minded people.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping by, and great advice. You just need a cell phone. You don't need to have it all figured out to get launched. So thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.